It's Meika's Safehouse on the Pet Channel with your host, Ian Sprague. How you doing, Ian?
We're doing good. How about yourself, James?
Very good, very good. And we're getting into the last part of summer. And what do we got? What do we got for a show today?
Well, I've had this question a couple times this week, so I figured I wrote it down, so I figured out what we would talk about. It says converting birds over from a seed diet, which is just bird seeds, sunflower seeds, and that kind of stuff, and converting them over to a pelletized diet, which is a processed food. This multicolored stuff here is just a pelletized diet. So the advantages of a pelletized diet is there's way less mess. The birds don't get any choices in what they're eating, really. They're eating nothing but healthy, right? So what the idea is that, with a seed diet, is that a bird's going to pick and choose. I like this seed. I don't like that seed. I like this seed, and I don't like that. And then you get stuff thrown, and there's a lot of waste involved. It's great for your birds psychologically because that's how they're meant to live, and that's how they're meant to eat. They're meant to have choices. But they're at the same time, it's like me having a bowl of Brussels sprouts and a bowl of chocolate chips. I can almost guarantee you, with pretty high certainty, that at the end of the day, that bowl of Brussels sprouts is going to look pretty much the same, and the chocolate chips might be all over my face. Right? So
stress.
Yeah, it's the COVID.
COVID.
Yeah, no, it's just the way it goes. So there's a lot of different strategies to switch birds over, all with varying success. I guess the one thing that I would say is what you want to really look at is what's a bird's natural tendency to eat. So they generally don't like to eat down low. So if you were to place a bowl higher up in a cage that has the pelletized diet in it, and maybe the favored food's lower down, you might be more inclined to look in that bowl anyhow, and play around in there, because it's, the stuff down low maybe isn't such an attractive thing because of some sort of instinctual thing. The other thing I would really look at is, because it's all about choices. If you put a pellet that in there, there's a billion different kinds of pellets, but if you were to put a pelletized diet in there that only had one color in that diet, looks like a great big bowl of brown, they're probably gonna say, well, you know what, this multicolored bowl of seed or whatever is maybe a little bit more attractive. All right, so we'll get rid of the brown. Right? Well, we won't bother eating that. So what you might want to look at doing is finding a pellet that has lots of colors in it. Again, that's one. This one. I don't know if you can see there.
I can. So when you're saying pelletized, is it their actual? It sort of looks like Fruit Loops or something.
Yeah.
So it's an actual processed food for them.
Yeah. So let me back up a little bit. I'll explain what a pellet is. So what they've done with pellets is they've taken that seed diet, and they usually weigh things out in the mix of seeds to say, okay, well, it's got this much protein, this much fiber, this much, and all these other kind of things, and they come up with a nutrition score, right? So what they do is they take everything in that diet, the sunflower seeds, the peanuts, whatever, and they grind it all together, and they basically cook it, and they make a soup. And it ends up looking almost like toothpaste, right? And as they're extruding that, they either chop it or it goes into little molds or anything like that, and that becomes your pelletized food. And a lot of times that they do other things to it. They'll spray extra vitamins and things like that on top of the pellet to make it healthier than anything else. But as I said, the problem with it is that it doesn't resemble anything that a bird would naturally eat. So that it's an uphill battle sometimes. If you don't get birds eating a pellet from the time they're very young, an older bird's really, he's not going to be too keen on that. So you got to come up with a bunch of strategies to kind of counterbalance that.
What's the
a lot of it is just making it a little bit more of a game. sometimes.
Right. You had those on the show before where they would crack open and set the spin and crawl up and get and
if you work really hard for it, you don't mind eating it sometimes, right?
Okay. And did they come in different shapes to try to?
There's lots of different kinds, and that's another thing I would always recommend is don't marry one brand, because really, there's a lot of marketing that goes on in this industry, as you would know. This is the bigger, better mousetrap or whatever, but it's the same darn thing. It's just got wearing a different shirt, right?
Is there a price advantage?
Not really. It's done pretty cleverly. Like when you look at the package sizes, they're going to be, this one seems so much cheaper, but you've got half the amount in the bag that's the same size, or little things like that. So they're very close in price. There is only one pelletized diet that is much more expensive than everybody else, basically, and that's the one that is certified organic.
Okay.
So it's more expensive. Is it a better food? That's going to be a personal thing, really, because it's the organic against natural against just normal food. So that's going to be something up to you, really.
Now, are you in the aviaries and at the Safehouse? Are you on? Is it pellets there, or do you have to do seed too, or what do you do?
We do a blend of everything. Okay. So, like I said, I was explaining to you, we're going to do a food show here pretty soon where I'm going to show you how we make our food, right?
Oh, okay.
So our birds primarily eat vegetables and pellets. Okay. That is their main thing, right? So we make them vegetables up every morning. I'm up like 7 o'clock in the morning and I'm chopping away, making food for these guys.
What kind of vegetables?
Chopping up vegetables and different things. Oh, we'll use, anything really. Whatever comes out of the fridge. Usually, it's like
carrots.
Carrots, broccoli. Brussels sprouts.
Celery.
We have.
And they
all that kind of stuff.
And they like that. That's cool.
That's kind of what. It's just it gives them a good choice, and that's kind of the big thing for any of this stuff. Is that it's really important for these birds, parrots in particular, because they're so intelligent that they're not robbed of choices. Because what happens when they're robbed of choices is they tend to become a potato. They just shut down and oh yeah, that's my food. And I'll take a bite and I'll throw a chunk. I'm not interested. They don't engage.
Will they eat apples and oranges and pears and stuff?
Oh, happily.
They like that, eh?
Oh yeah, but I try to avoid the fruit, because I'm really trying to push the darker vegetables. Okay. Right?
For vitamins and stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the heavy nutrition
candy,
in. Not sugar water, right?
Eating candy.
Yeah.
A little bit of candy's good. A little bit of candy's good.
A little bit's fine.
Yeah.
But again, we get back to that choice thing, right?
Right.
I give you an apple, I give you a Brussels sprout. That apple's gone, or this guy's still here. The Brussels sprout's got all the nutrition. Right? So
when you're saying that you're going to make a transition from the seed diet,
which is not a bad diet,
like a multicolored seed, so it's a variety of seeds.
And the problem with the seed diet is that it's a high energy diet, right? So if you're giving them that kind of diet, something's got to give, because they're not going to be able to burn off that energy because they live in a house.
You can't get like a tether ball kind of situation where you put the string around their foot and just let them fly in a circle.
Yeah. No, that just doesn't work, But it would be like giving Usain Bolt, and if whatever Usain Bolt's diet is, and then telling him to sit there all day.
Yeah.
Something's got to give, right? And it's usually your waistline, right? And then your liver and everything else behind it.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Pancreas, spleen. Heart, lung.
All that stuff.
Get out there and walk. Get out there and walk. Or fly.
Fly for crying out
loud. So that's something that we haven't really talked about, is the exercise for these animals.
It's huge.
Okay.
we really, really encourage flight where we can.
Okay.
The problem with flight, in our situation with pet owners, is flight is also dangerous, right? So we need to find a safe place for these guys to fly and move without, hitting windows, hitting ceiling fans, flying out the door, all these neat things. So all these things are
Yeah, ceiling fan. I never even thought of
all
that.
part of it.
That hurt.
So that's where a pelletized diet comes in. It keeps the energy levels low, so they can do the majority of their time, locked up basically in a cage. Oops. You never heard that.
I thought you had chickens. I didn't know you had a rooster. Did you get a rooster?
Yeah, well.
Bring him in. Bring him in. Let's meet that guy.
I don't know where he's at. He's roaming around here somewhere. But,
what kind of chicken is that again? You told me, I forget.
A silky chicken.
Silky. They're funny. Yeah.
Yeah. He's just helping out.
Is he bossy? Is he bossy in the shop when he comes in?
Not really.
No,
every now and then he tries, but he's all right. He's too small, right?
Yes. There he is. There he is.
There you go.
Oh, look at that. Oh, a handsome bird. And that just fits in one hand, hey?
Yeah. That's hen solo.
Oh, that's hen solo. Nice. That's a nice animal. Can you get a hen and rooster pair and raise those? Would that be possible?
You're not supposed to in the county.
Oh, okay.
Right. So the county, you're not allowed to have backyard chickens.
Okay.
Yeah, these guys are store chickens, so it's a little different, but.
Okay, so you can't own one of them in Strathcona right now?
Not according to the bylaw.
Oh,
you'd have to be careful, and you'd have to make sure that you had all your chickens in a row, paperwork and stuff like that. So it'd be a thing.
It is funny. I don't know why chickens are they're like, I guess there's certain things that human beings have attachment to, eh? Dogs, cats, chickens.
I don't know.
I was out at a friend's place. They had pigs, those pot-belly pigs. It's
Yeah.
interesting. There's lots of interesting pets.
Oh,
so what's up on the adoption side? Who's gone out?
Who's
gone out?
Guys go.
Okay.
We had Cherry, the macaw, found a home yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
We had Cricket. The Senegal parrot went.
Okay.
So she's gone. So that's freeing up some space because I have a funny feeling that in the near future, when school's back in and COVID backs up, people are gonna get busy again, and I have a funny feeling that there's gonna be a little bit of a rush on birds looking for homes.
You're gonna have birds.
It's part of the thing. But we don't have anybody new. We were expecting that Moluccan, and we do have Lou. Lou's a blue-fronted Amazon. He's new.
How'd that racing pigeon do?
The racing pigeon, the owners came the next day, said, "Hey, that's my," and I said, "Oh, good." And they said, so they had a flight out of that bird flew from Wainwright to here. So.
From Wainwright to here. Wow.
Yeah, he was a little bit off course.
Not bad.
Yeah, but he did good.
I don't know if without roads or a map, I don't know if I could walk. I know I could walk the distance, but I don't know if I'd get. That's get off track real easy.
Yeah, I can walk to Highway 21 maybe.
And they just do they do that as competition. It's so good. And then so you need a big indoor place to fly birds around with no ceiling fans. Yeah,
we got to make sure it's safe for them. And again with the pelletized food, going back on track. Pelletized food. So you want to try. What I would suggest you do is you get a lot of different types and a lot of varieties. Mix them in a bowl just like you would with that seed mix. Now they have a choice in the bowl. Oh, I like this pellet. I like this pellet. This is my second favorite. This is my third favorite. Always eat the red ones last. Whatever the story is, but that's for their brains, right? So you always want to make sure they have healthy choices as opposed to unhealthy choices, right? So if there's no sense, like I said, giving them a Brussels sprout and a Hershey's Kiss. Make sure they have a Brussels sprout or broccoli. What do you prefer?
Yeah.
And so if their choices are always healthy choices or preferable choices, then that's the key.
And everybody healthy. Nobody's under the weather there at the Safehouse. They're all good. All the birds are good.
No, everybody's doing good. I'm doing good. I got to grow this little thing. That's my COVID beard. It's just because when I'm wearing my mask, if I don't have a little bit of something there, I'd keep pulling it off. My whistle.
Only a matter of time before you start to wear a beard, I guess.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. After a while, though, shaving and
old
stuff.
Man.
Old man. I don't know what happens. Meika Safehouse on the Pet Channel with Ian Sprague. It was a great show. Thanks, sir.
Yeah, right. You have a great day. Have a good week.
You bet. Bye now.